Okay, welcome to the vlog. It's Friday. Camera tweak. Well, two things. One, I don't have enough light in this room, so I look like I'm in shadow because I am. Looks like the back wall is properly exposed though, so I'm close. Let me try. No, it's not gonna do it. Okay, well, we tried. The big thing is, so Adobe. I use Adobe Premiere, and they a month ago released Premiere Rush, which is supposed to compete with iMovie. So it's basically just Premiere for YouTube. Because I cut all this stuff on iMovie. I've tried Premiere, don't like it. Don't have Final Cut, otherwise I'd use Final Cut. So all the vlogs I think all but like two have been through iMovie. I'm too tall now, hold on. Okay, so I use iMovie because it's fast, and for this kind of thing, there's no reason to use all the extra tools that something like Adobe Premiere has, so it's easy just to put it in, put it out. Like a 20-minute one of these, from start to finish, if I put it into iMovie, and the second I drop it into iMovie, it takes about an hour to put it out. And I put it out in low quality because it's just me talking. You really don't need to see a lot of details if you're looking at this, and it's a talking head. But it takes about an hour. A 20-minute movie takes about an hour plus or minus. If I color it, that's more stuff, so that probably adds another 20 minutes to it, but an hour. If I do the same 20-minute clip in Premiere, it takes an hour to ingest, usually an hour to render, and then usually an hour to 2 hours to export. And it doesn't have any, it took me a long time to match the type of export in Premiere to iMovie, just because iMovie just makes all the choices for you and you have to go figure out what they are later. At Premiere, you have to tell Premiere specifically what the choices are. And it just took a lot of trial and error to get the stats that Premiere asks for to match the iMovie stats. But long story short, Premiere takes forever. And it's because I have a Mac, and it's because Premiere is just not optimized for Mac the way iMovie or Final Cut Pro is. And that's a known thing. iMovie and Final Cut Pro are insanely fast on Macs because they're native, whereas Premiere is comparably fast if it's a PC. So the only reason I don't have Final Cut is because I don't want to pay the money / steal it, and Premiere and Adobe does offer the whole suite, of which I use a lot of it, like Lightroom and Photoshop, specifically Lightroom. So anyway, Adobe Rush came out. I wasn't asking for it. I didn't need it. I was pretty comfortable with iMovie, but I thought I'd try it. So I've tried it a little bit, and there's a couple things I like about it. I like that if you open a Premiere project, you can then if you open Premiere, you can then click, I want to open a Rush project, and take a Rush project that you already have and rework it in Premiere. I like that a lot. Couldn't really do that with iMovie, obviously. Which I had to do a couple times. I had to finish it in iMovie, export it in iMovie and then finish it in Premiere. And so it took an hour tops in iMovie, and then, a 4-hour thing through Premiere, which was just a nightmare for titles. So what I like about Rush so far, in the very short time I've had it, is it seems to be legitimately fast. I think next week I'm going to test a 1-to-1 project where I edit it in Rush and I edit it in iMovie, and just see if they're different, because it seems like Rush is faster than iMovie. As long as you don't put color over it. iMovie's then faster, anecdotally. So if you just do this and then put a title across the bottom, in Rush, it seems like it takes minutes instead of 20 minutes, which is faster than iMovie, which is pretty goddamn amazing. So I like that. And yeah, so there's just, but the whole thing with iMovie is you have a pretty decent amount of tools. You have like some titles, some of this, some of that, some of this. I can't tell yet because I haven't spent enough time in Rush if you have that many tools. It seems like you don't, because I did the walkthrough, and the walkthrough took all of 5 minutes, which is pretty astounding. So that's not very many things. So I'm gonna try Rush at least until it bugs out on me, so that's my other big complaint with Adobe, specifically Premiere, but everything Adobe is, even though Adobe talks to Adobe, like Premiere works with After Effects, Lightroom works with Bridge, all that kind of stuff. There are just enormous amounts of bugs in Premiere, specifically Premiere. Right now, and I haven't used the new update, so I updated all my Adobe stuff. I haven't used the new one, so I was posting my 30-minute TV pilot in Premiere, and it just about was too big. And I think it was because I had done a color grade, and I went back and was color correct, I was doing color. I was doing post color, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't like it. It just takes so much more time to load and all this stuff because it's extra data. Titles too. Titles and VFX. I only started crashing on my new setup doing titles VFX, and it was really buggy to the point where every time I opened it, it would automatically say none of the titles are rendered, and I have to go re-render them, which was a problem because then it would start doing the other bug that I found out that scared the shit out of me a while ago, which is, for whatever reason, one of the LUTs that I put on 80% of my footage, it's a Blackmagic LUT, but it's from somebody else. It's a free LUT. For whatever reason, Premiere just doesn't understand it about half the time, and it's completely random. And I'll just get the red checkerboard, which means we don't know what footage is here, or footage not found. Then you have to go back in and click on each clip and just reload the LUT. You don't even have to delete the LUT. You just have to reload the LUT, and that fixes it. So that's a bug, which I found like 8 months ago, right when, I guess, 2018 Premiere came out. It took me a long time to figure it out. And it's really consistent where if you make an adjustment on anything other than sound on one of these clips that has this LUT on it, there's a reasonable chance that the LUT's not going to work, and you're not going to figure that out until you actually go clip by clip, and it'll tell you. But what made that way worse when I was posting it a couple weeks ago was I put VFX and titles over stuff, and for whatever reason, the fact that the VFX has the bug where it won't render, you have to re-render it every time you open it, which takes a little bit of time. There's a really decent chance it'll drop some of these LUTs, these Blackmagic LUTs. And so what would have taken me 2 or 3 tries to get a proper export of this 30-minute monster, which took 3 or 4 hours just to export, every single time I had to go through because I kept finding the checkerboard because the LUT kept dropping out because of this bug. Nightmare bug. I should have spent a whole video just on this nightmare bug. So that's the big one, is for whatever reason, 2018 Premiere, and I haven't tried 2019 yet, just hates this specific LUT that I have for no reason. But when you actually, it's like quantum physics. When you're not looking at it, it fucking hates it. But when you're looking at it, it goes, oh no, everything's fine. Very, very strange. So that's a bug that just about made it impossible to work on Premiere. I'm never gonna do a 30-minute contained thing on Premiere with all this color and VFX and stuff ever again. I'll break it up because Premiere just can't handle it for whatever reason. I think Deadpool faced a similar situation where just the amount of footage and the bit depth and all the data and everything was so massive that they just had a lot of trouble even with these massive server-sized computers. This is me talking about my ass. Anyway, so that's basically Premiere has these weird bugs, and I'm expecting Rush to have some weird bugs too, although there's so few tools and things in Rush that I'd be surprised if there were bugs. The other big bug that I found in Premiere that just drives me crazy is it'll spontaneously just not be able to read the audio. Like it'll say the audio's there, but then when you play it, there's no sound bars at all. And all you have to do is click solo and unsolo on any of the audio clips and it's back. And that has screwed me a few times when I was exporting, because I'd finish, I'd render, and I'd play it, but I wouldn't look at the sound bars, and I wouldn't see that the sound bars aren't working, and I'd do a full export, and then I'd realize I have no audio at all, just dead air. And I would go back and I would click solo, unsolo, and then the audio would come back. And that was a month out of my life where I was freaking out because I thought I had corrupted all my audio. Anyway, so Premiere Rush, I'm expecting some bugs. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's good. The crazy thing about iMovie, and probably Final Cut to a lesser extent, is I've never come across an error in iMovie. It's so aggressively optimized towards a Mac that it's never had a problem. 25% of what I do when I'm editing, I can't do in iMovie, and I'm a very low energy editor. I don't do detailed stuff, but there's stuff in iMovie there's stuff missing in iMovie, and it might be in Rush, it might not. Anyway, that's my Premiere Rush speech. I'm not excited. I guess I'd be more excited if I had a PC, because it just seems like Premiere or Adobe is just across the board more reliable and faster on a PC. But I'm going to try Premiere Rush, and if it works, if it's as 85% as good as iMovie, I will start using Rush exclusively, because I know that I can then put it into Premiere if I have to later. There's a compatibility thing. So I guess the big sell for me with Premiere Rush, a thing I didn't expect and wasn't looking for because I'm not a fanboy, the big thing that Premiere Rush that appeals to me is this ability to basically have the Adobe style tools, which I understand because I'm using Premiere, but also put a Rush project into Premiere compatibly and not have to worry about losing something. So, speech over. And I'll edit in Premiere Rush, and maybe I'll have a title at the bottom that says it was a nightmare. Who knows? Did I write? Yeah, I'm in a spot where I need to get another project going, another script going. So I've been going through my scripts and seeing if I want to rewrite something, because I realized I have a lot of like first or second drafters. I think I have 17 that are less than a third draft. Not 17 good ones, but 3 or 4, decent ones that I should rewrite. Because I'm really, my like true writer bad habit is I like to start stuff, and then once I finish a first draft, because I force myself to finish a first draft, I leave it alone. And I have just a bad habit of leaving stuff perpetually alone, so I'm trying to actually rewrite this time. And when I rewrite, it seems to go better anyway. So yes, did I write? Yeah, I was free writing. I was just exploring my brain, and then also just taking notes on stuff I want to rewrite, because I think I've narrowed down the script that I want to write next or rewrite next. So, did I read? Yeah, only my own stuff though, which I was pleasantly surprised. I'd been away long enough for these 2 scripts that I lost all the data cache about it, which is good. That's how long you got to leave it alone. You got to lose the data cache so you can look at it fresh. And I looked at them fresh, and one of them particularly, I was pretty surprised by how good it was. It's not ready, but it's good. So yes, did I read? Yeah, I read 2 scripts, and I liked one of them, and the other one I just came up with ideas for, which is not necessarily the same as liked. Did I watch stuff? Not in movie theaters. Oh, I ditched. This is going to go long. Okay. I deleted, as of yesterday, MoviePass, because I opened it all week, and there was 1 or 0 movies in theaters at every single theater. Movie time. Not movies, but movie time. So I deleted it. I'll probably get the AMC Stubs one. I think that's the one. I don't know. I'll probably get the one that offers 3 a week for $20 because I can swing that. So I didn't watch anything in theaters, and I'm very annoyed about that because there's about 10 things in theaters that I want to watch. So the only thing I really watched was I finished Big Mouth, and high recommend. I can't say enough great things about Big Mouth. The way they handled puberty and my own experience about it was very accurate to what they were doing, which was pretty insane that these grown ass men and women are doing such a good job. Big Mouth, yeah. It should be taught in it should be a required course in like 8th grade. You should just watch 2 seasons of Big Mouth for your sex ed class, and then have like one little day where the professor comes in and answers questions that Big Mouth brought up, and that would be perfect. Writing tip, this is because I've been going through stuff. Always go back through what you have. I keep a document. I keep a document of ideas, and then I keep a separate document in the same folder of just a list of projects, and I usually keep a link of those projects in there. Just keep I call it a slush pile. Keep a slush pile and periodically go through and see if anything stands out to you, see if anything is worth messing with. Because if I didn't have my slush pile specifically of stuff that I've already worked on, I wouldn't know where to go. So spend time with your stuff. You know, the wisdom is most everything in your slush pile should never see the light of day, ever. Whether or not it's been worked on, whether or not it's just an idea, it's just not usable. However, you throw enough not usables out there, you might come across a usable. So always, periodically go back through your ideas just to see if any of it works. Yeah. I generate a lot of ideas. I know a lot of people don't happen to have many ideas. I've found that, at least anecdotally, that if there's 10 people, I'm the only I'm one of 2 people that has 20 ideas instead of 1 idea. I don't know I don't know if that means I'm not being picky enough. I don't know if that means the other people are not trying hard enough. I don't really understand. But I'm always lousy with ideas, and good. So go back through and see if any of it's usable. Box office, I got obliterated again. I said Bohemian Rhapsody, Nutcracker, Halloween, Nobody's Fool, Star is Born. Still no idea what Nobody's Fool is. And I got 2 out of 5. I got Bohemian Rhapsody and Nutcracker. Number 3 was Nobody's Fool instead of Halloween. Number 4 was A Star is Born instead of Nobody's Fool. And number 5 was Halloween instead of A Star is Born. Shit. So this week is going to be The Grinch. I'm not even sure I've seen a trailer for it. I've only seen the stuff in theaters about it. But it's going to be The Grinch, number 1, Bohemian Rhapsody, number 2, probably, Overlord, which looks super great. Love that Overlord is out. Again, no idea what Nutcracker in the Four Realms is, and then The Girl in Spider's Web, which didn't need to exist. Or just missed its moment, I think. So we'll see what happens. And then recommend, I watched again, it's been a long time. I saw it in theaters and thought it was incredible. And then I probably saw it like one other time, and I watched it on HBO the other day. A Perfect Getaway with Mila Jovovich and Steve Zahn and Kelly the porn star, whose name escapes me. Anyway, A Perfect Getaway. It's this very well put together thriller that I don't think anybody watched. They're in Hawaii, and basically it's 2 couples that don't know each other that are on vacation in Hawaii on this isolated trail in the middle of the jungle / ocean on one of the islands, and somebody there has been killing people because the killers were on a different island. They came over to this island, and so somebody there is a killer, and it's really good. And what is his name? Jesus Christ. So Steve Zahn, Mila Jovovich, and then he's on The Grinder. Let me just look it up. Otherwise, it's gonna drive me crazy because he's the best part of it by far. The dialogue that, hold on. It's got Chris Hemsworth in a very small role, basically his first American film, and it was pretty entertaining. Timothy Olyphant is the guy who I can't think of. Timothy Olyphant's character in The Perfect Getaway is hilarious. Like, they get up to cartoon levels, but then they bring it back down. It was very satisfying, but his character was just super fun. And that's it. It's going to be a 21-minute vlog, which means maybe it'll take an hour in Premiere Rush. We'll find out. Bye.